was the library so shitty that you had to get your own books sent in?
The library?
Library.
Yes.
Yeah. Was the library so shit that you had to have your own books shipped in?
What just happened there? Did Taylor say it right or wrong the first time?
He said it wrong. He said library. And there is no library at Talladega Federal Prison Camp, but there is a library. And the library. So I got Lord of the Rings out of there, and it was in like new condition. And I found it was in there in virtually new condition. A few books were, but like the Harry Potter books were just destroyed. So like I got my own sent in, and also like I knew exactly what I wanted for the most part. So like if I was making a request, I wanted what I wanted, and they didn't have it there. But there was a lot in there. Like this isn't like a nice public library, but the Stephen King section is like a whole shelf, and the Dean Koontz section is a whole shelf. And
it sounds like Netflix, where if you want a particular book, you're fucked. But if you want a category of book, there's one there for you.
Oh, certainly.
Do you want a book that's tangentially related to what you wanted?
Welcome to Netflix.
Here's three tangentially related books.
Yeah. The Stephen King section was nice though, and I'm really into Stephen King right now. I'm going to keep reading more and more and more of that. And he's got like 55 books or so.
Oh yeah, a good one for you to look into is Gerald's Game.
I've seen the show. The last one I was reading was Under the Dome, which they made.
I never read it.
They made a TV show out of it. I was about 200 pages in. It's very thick. It's fascinating. A town just inexplicably and suddenly is covered in a transparent dome that is impenetrable, and it's like nobody knows what to do. They're just stuck in there.
Stephen King also.
Yeah.
Another good one, Pet Sematary. Like if you watch the movie, you'll be like, "This is dumb. Who fucking cares?" But the book is actually really good.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, I've heard the same thing. I saw actually Joe Rogan and Joey Diaz were talking about that about 9 months ago about how the Pet Sematary movie is kind of lame, but the book is very good.
Yep. Yeah, it is. Yeah, The Shining's a good one too. But The Shining was great as a movie.
Dr. Sleep, they're completely different. Very different, the book from the movie. And Dr. Sleep, I believe, is the sequel to The Shining, and there's a movie for that coming out soon. My cellmate next to me, he was reading Dr. Sleep. I got the gay black guy. I would always like, when I take a break, I'd be like, dude, you got to get into the Stephen King shit, because he read too. And by the time I was done, by the time I left, he was 2 or 3 books in. Like he was just reading whatever I just had read because I was telling him what it was like.
He writes books as quickly as you can read them. That's amazing about Stephen King.
Yeah, he does. I don't remember how many pages a day, every day, no matter what, but it's at least 10.
That's a lot.
He was I remember this story about him somehow, but he was such like an alcoholic during the Cujo, like, his book Cujo about the dog, that like he doesn't remember writing it at all.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. A lot of people say that his writing wasn't as good after the car accident. He was a pedestrian hit by a car and just mauled. His body was just fucking ruined. And they say that he's not as good since. But the Mr. Mercedes book and the Finders Keepers book that I read, I found to be excellent. Just really good stuff. I don't know. And he's a student of writing. The Finders Keepers book is a scenario in which basically this guy is obsessed with a writer. The writer wrote 3 books and then stopped writing. And in the 3rd book, the main character completely turns head over heels his like point of view in life and goes from being a rebel without a cause to like working at an ad agency and getting a house and getting a wife and kids. And he hated this guy. And so he went and robbed the guy and stole all these manuscripts the guy had written for future books. And he's got the next 2 sequels that the old guy was never going to release to the public. They were just for him. Murders the old guy. Then he goes and he hides the books. He's afraid the cops are going to catch him. Then he goes to prison for 35 years on a completely separate crime.
Damn.
The whole time thinking, getting raped a lot. The whole time thinking, one of these days I'm going to get out and I'm going to be able to read those books and I'm going to know what happens to the main character, Jimmy Gold. I'm going to find it. They're mine. They're only mine. A little boy finds them a year before he gets released, finds the cash in there, starts using the cash to support his family during the financial crisis. and starts using. And the boy is into literature. He reads the books, loves them, realizes who they're from, and with a little research realizes their value, and he starts trying to sell them right about the time the guy gets out of prison. And so you've got this crazy situation where like they're worth millions of dollars.
Mhm.
Like this guy was like a world considered like the top 5 writers of all time. He's like a Faulkner or a Hemingway or something. And so you've got this ex-con who went in at 23 and is now 59 after coming out after 36 years in prison, who cares about nothing in the world but these books and is willing to hatchet murder people and torture or whatever it takes. And he does all those things to get to those books. And you've got a 17-year-old boy who just wants to sell them so his little sister can go to private school. And meanwhile, you've got the cop from the first series of books who ends up in the middle of it trying to solve the mystery and protect the boy from the madman. And it's really good. It's not as good as the first one, I didn't think, but it's only because I felt
That
like
sounds really interesting.
the bad guy in the first book is literally a motherfucker who's insane. Like he fucks his own mother. He's obsessed with her.
Is that what
literally
motherfucker
a
means?
Yeah.
I always thought it
Yeah.
was fucking anyone who was a mom, which involved like most husbands.
I'm a mother.
No, you can be
You're
cool
a
by fucking somebody else's mom.
We can fuck each other's mothers. Fuck